in the arena on Sunday.
Yeah, correct. You guys are both right. You don't want to lose your cool too early in a matchup. Both of those men are veterans, but there's a lot of tension after that last week also between Joe and Moxley. Hobbs takes Matthew Jackson down. Matthew set for a loop, and Hobbs shoots one half of the Founding Fathers up. Good teamwork there by Matt. And Nick, here comes Nick now. Nick is elevated up and over the top. The drop kick sends Hobbs into the corner to the waiting tag of Swerve Strickland. Swerve, who's been antagonized by EVPs over the last few weeks, has now Swerve. That's a nice active pick, very quickly done. Threads the leg free, brings Nicholas back up with the waist lock. Jay looking for a German suplex or mat return. Neither work. Nice leapfrog. Oh, goodness. Anticipation by Swerve. Super kick. The flying backbreaker delivered. Good power there by Strickland.
And right now the questions for me, Taz, have been answered. It looks like Swerve on the same page as the Alps right now.
Swerve looking for the uppercut. Matthew cheated in, took Swerve's attention off, and now Swerve with control of Nicholas.
Swerve's house. Swerve's house.
Fans here in the United States, you can join us for Double or Nothing this Sunday live on pay-per-view via Prime Video, traditional cable and satellite providers, YouTube, PPV.com, and for the first time ever on Fubo, as well as nationwide at Dave Buster's and Tom's Watch Bar locations internationally. You can join us for Double or Nothing on Prime Video, Triller, and YouTube.
This is what the Bucks are so good. They operate in the margins, taking advantage of every split second, but showing Swerve out of the way.
But John Moxley, as Moxley nearly running into the brick wall there at Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh, but Mox gouging the eyes of Hobbs.
Great equalizer.
And Moxley had a sting. Takes down Hobbs on the floor.
Joe finds his way back into the ring.
Joe, as you know, that he's not afraid to take flight at times. So the young buck cut him off with the parachute. Definitely Joe could fly through the air, but to the point you just made, the Bucks were one step ahead of Joe.
And now holding steady, it's Nicholas.
Wait a second, Swerve delivers the flatliner, and now Swerve to the floor. That was awesome by Strickland right there. Big man showing a lot of athleticism. Speaking of athleticism and big men, now Joe, the head of steam. Thunderously delivered by Samoa Joe as the action continues tonight live on Dynamite.
This All-Star Trio is absolutely unbelievable to kick things off here on Dynamite.
Well, Joe just flattened everybody. Look at that big man flying through the air. It's like a 777. That's a big jet Excalibur, a very big jet. I wouldn't know, but Marina Shafir, I know how bad, how powerful she could be, but she seems to have been neutralized over the last few weeks by Willow Nightingale, who's firmly thrown her lot in with Team AEW with Swerve Strickland, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe.
I think for Willow, she hit a breaking point where she just couldn't stand anymore. Oh, my goodness. Serving the equalizer. Here's the break.
That's Swerve, a little shot for the Young Bucks as well for Matthew on the floor. I like the gritty.
He taught me in New Orleans. Tag made. So he'd give a private lesson to Swerve.
All right. Well, I can picture you doing it right now. You got to get out of that corner if you want Nicholas Jackson. One half of the Young Bucks is in the wrong corner right now. No reason to, if you're Hobbs on there, you don't rush. You just kind of systematically pick apart. Jackson with the size advantage, obviously, for Hobbs. Delayed vertical suplex by Powerhouse Hobbs. This is the type of thing he can do all day. But mercifully for Nicholas, driving him down, and Hobbs trying to invite Matthew and Moxley into the match, but wisely, I think, they stayed on the corner. Unfortunately for Nicholas, though.
Nicholas going to have to stick and move like he's doing now, the quick shots, and there's the tag.
And Powerhouse Hobbs sticking back, to the knee injury, the singles match with John Moxley test. Powerhouse Hobbs, he tore his knee, required extensive surgery after that match, and that may be an opening that Nicholas just exploited. It's a great point, and I definitely wouldn't be shocked if Moxley obviously remembers that, and that's the goal here. As you see, Matthew Jackson really getting on that left knee of Hobbs. Drop kick straight into the knee, the side of the knee.
And what do you think that meant last week, Excalibur, as the tag is made for the EVPs to come out and do what they did, raise the cage, lower it, just maybe as a peace offering of some sort to Moxley?
It seems to be what convinced John Moxley that he could have a use for the founding fathers, for the Young Bucks, that they can exploit their EVP powers in a way that Moxley just doesn't have access to. Right now, Matthew Jackson, dangerous fella right now, all over. Hobbs here, that left leg now. The world champion Moxley tags himself in here. More damage to be done right now to those legs. And the wishbone on Hobbs. Welcome back to AEW Dynamite. Our opening contest continues. The unlikely trio of John Moxley and the Young Bucks taking out Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe, and Swerve Strickland. And over the last few moments, Taz, the Young Bucks and Moxley have been looking to exploit the knee injury that Powerhouse Hobbs suffered and we thought recovered from, but maybe not 100%. You saw that right there, got the knee clipped, and just a nasty beat down here by the world champion. And fans, special programming note, coming up tomorrow night, Collision, special night, special network, the final stop before Double or Nothing. Collision, tomorrow night, 8/7 Central on TBS and streaming on Max.
And that may have been a mistake there in the open hand. It may have woke Hobbs up a little bit, get that adrenaline going.
Yeah, but Nicholas realized that and did a back spin kick to the gut, but then he went back to this chop to the back, which is not really affecting Hobbs. That's pretty evident. I think Nicholas realizing he just stepped in it, tried the crossbody Hobbs. He staggered for a second, but steadied himself, and Hobbs drives down Nicholas. Tough landing on your spine. Here comes Strickland. Swerve Strickland antagonized, tormented by Matthew and Nicholas Jackson since they returned earlier this year. But now, working around to what power by Swerve Strickland. Wow! Great transitional work right there by Strickland. Nicholas really felt that. And Swerve coming into this match, a breath of fresh air for his side as Nicholas Jackson leading to the roof of Swerve. Swerve finds his footing and the backbreaker on Nicholas. Oh, shot by Moxley, but couldn't avoid the super kick. Great teamwork by the Bucks along with Moxley now to really take out Strickland.
And this is the MO of the Bucks, setting that trap on the outside, isolating Swerve. And getting Moxley involved. That's what I'm impressed with the most here, Taz.
Well, there was some stealth session that happened with the world champ and the Bucks. Because they're definitely working as a well-oiled machine, as the cliche goes.
Yeah, we speculated on what it was that finally convinced Moxley that he could have a use for Matthew and Nicholas. And I mean, was it the fact that they were able to invoke their EVP to control that cage 1 week ago?
It must have been, because the cover now 1, 2. I mean, that's the only common denominator right now, but we don't see what operates in the shadows. We don't see what goes on.
Yeah, that's the thing that's the reason we can only speculate. We don't know about these conversations between Moxley and the Young Bucks.
I know this much. Nicholas just crashed and burned, and that was an excellent counter by Swerve Strickland.
Swerve with the knees up, and Moxley, though, a pair of elbows to the odds, or for 230 odds. That body drop, but Swerve, nobody left in the corner for him to tag.
And a smart move by Mox to clear the corner.
And Matthew charging in, set up and over, as is his brother Nicholas. Oh, great trios teamwork by Moxley and the Bucks as Moxley couldn't swerve inside out.
Again, it's this 3-on-1, taking advantage of opportunities here for the Bucks and Mox.
And they're doing an excellent job. You can't knock it. Watch out now.
Matthew Jackson just a leaping crossbody.
And now Nicholas in the ring, about to do something dastardly here, I guess, to Strickland.
The Young Bucks, the risky business. And 1, 2. No swerve, able to kick out.
Shows the toughness of Strickland. I thought he was done right there.
Yeah, world champion John Moxley thought he was done as well.
A lot of heart, a lot of resilience, but when it's 3-on-1, these beatings add up. You gotta wonder if Swerve can even. He needs to make a tag right now.
He definitely does, but Strickland's got a lot of experience as a former AEW World Champion. He's tough as hell. He's battle tested, and he's getting tested heavily here.
But Swerve finds himself in the ring, on the wrong side of the ring, with former AEW World Tag Team Champions, former AEW World Trios Champions, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Two men that really know how to cut the ring in half.
Future Hall of Famers.
As now the lateral press made to the Powerhouse Hobbs in there. Good explosion shown by Hobbs. As he bails out, Swerve Strickland fans don't go anywhere. This match will continue on TBS and Max.
And even just the way Matthew stalks Swerve Strickland.
I believe if, I was trying to look up, I believe Matthew was mocking Strickland with the Who's House deal, you know? Well, that's the best time to do it. Even if you're in control, now it's body shots by Matthew into Swerve's gut.
And even smartly positioning his own body between the ops and Swerve as the tag is made.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, they all have a ton of experience being in the Bucks along with the world champion, and Strickland is really paying the price heavily here.
And even Marina on the outside, how much does that get in your head, Taz?
Well, you got to be careful. She's a dangerous lady for sure. She's shown many times she's not afraid to get involved with any of the Death Riders business, so you do have to beware of Marina. And she's carrying that briefcase, which we can only assume the World Championship is in, so it's a heavy-ass briefcase.
Yeah, that World Championship, which the belt, John Moxley says no one deserves to look upon unless they can defeat him, unless they can dethrone King John Moxley.
And he's straight right, Swerve with a block and an uppercut.
Well, Strickland's cut of a life here. There's a lot of muscle behind those blows by Strickland.
Moxley, just a simple thumb to the eye, taking the wind on Swerve's sails, and Moxley sending Swerve into those steel ring steps.
That was a rough thud. The skull of Strickland really hit those steel steps in a bad way.
All Hobbs and Joe can do right now is watch as Mox again in control. That's his body language, breathing.
Well, when you're in that position, I've been there, where you're trying to reach over to tag a partner, and you are just getting worn out, and it's difficult. It's not just tough physically, but mentally.
Yeah, I mean, Tez, it's the closest equivalent I can think of is being stuck in a riptide. You know, you're trying to swing forward, but then you have John Moxley, you have the Young Bucks pulling you back.
Very good analogy.
Yeah.
Definitely a good analogy. Now, you see right here, you know, Nicholas and Matthew trying to work together here while Strickland's in the corner, and you don't want to deal with the Bucks as a unit, right?
Absolutely not. And just the little things you see Matthew holding Swerve into the corner for Nicholas to attack repeatedly with those knees up the leg.
They are putting it on Strickland right now. And people here in New Mexico not too impressed with the Bucks and the world champion.
It's Hobbs doing his best to try and get something going, to maybe try and get some energy pumping for Swerve, but he's fading.
Yeah, sure thing.
You have a chance of We Want Joe ringing out. You have to imagine Swerve feels that way as well. We are live on our second to last stop towards Double or Nothing. This Sunday on Pay-Per-View Anarchy in the Arena. We are getting a sneak preview here tonight. And for the last few moments, it has been all Moxley, all Matthew Jackson, all Nicholas Jackson, much to the chagrin of Swerve Strickland.
And Marina. Marina was just grabbing Strickland around the neck and whatnot while the referee was distracted. This is dangerous here on this pile driver potentially.
Moxley with Swerve inverted the stalling pile driver. Moxley covers one, two. A disrespectful cover, turning his back on the former world champion Samoa Joe.
And Joe needed that. His team needed that jolt of energy as the crowd coming back alive.
Looks like Joe for an armbar here, Moxley. But no,
It's that crossface section.
now he's got that overhook.
And Prince Nana getting the Albuquerque faithful going here. Energy is palpable.
And Swerve Strickland, though, he is stuck. He's trying to slip his arm free, but Moxley doing a good job of controlling Swerve. Now the full Nelson. He's cinched in that powerful grip of Moxley, Taz.
Yeah, it's tough to get out of a full Nelson. Definitely driving the guy forward while you have a grip. I can't tell. I think he had an S grip. It's gone now. Strickland was smart enough to fight his way out of it. Good job on using the footwork right there, Strickland.
Oh, he's so close. Fingertips away, Taz.
Yeah, very close.
Moxley holding on to the belt of Strickland. Swerve comes in, a desperation headbutt. Moxley is rocked, and Swerve perhaps the window opportunity open.
You gotta just pull it out, Strickland. You gotta tag in one of your partners here.
Swerve links up with Samoa Joe, and Joe comes in, fist and feet flying.
Oh, but it's 2-on-1 again like a pack. The Young Bucks.
The STO plants Nicholas. The power slam from Matthew. Joe makes the cover.
Impressive kick out by Matthew. I thought he was done on that scoop slam.
Oh, what an energy change with Swerve back in. Their all-star trios match to kick things off here at Dynamite.
Swerve, the uppercut jaw, the back elbow, the Enziguri, and now Powerhouse Hobbs to the top. This is not typically his domain, Taz.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Work on that balance. Got a frog splash.
Powerhouse Hobbs, the frog splash. Swerve makes the cover, the leg is hooked, but Nicholas and Moxley makes the save.
They had to make the save, otherwise this match was over.
Swerve Strickland, though, you can tell, Taz, just by his body language, he is feeling the effects of the punishment he took from the opposition.
Absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not too crazy about Strickland still being in there. If I was either Joe or Hobbs, I would have tried to stay in there because this man Strickland has taken a lot of punishment.
Super kicks for Swerve. Hobbs, oh, the fake, and now the Bucks, the DDT. Great counter as Joe. One super kick, two super kicks, and Joe runs over the Bucks.
He ate those super kicks.
Appetite satiated.
But the paradigm shift from Moxley.
How strong!
From Swerve. And now Swerve, the stop on Matthew and Nicholas on the floor.
Great job by Strickland. Nana's on the outside. He loves it.
Just 1 week after Swerve, the dramatic leap off the top of the cage, now driving the Bucks down here in Albuquerque.
There's the bodies are everywhere, Ian.
Yeah.
Get a lot of this come Sunday down here in the arena.
Well, this was chaotic. The house call and then Swerve. Almost like a mirror image of last week, Taz, with this double stop.
Yeah, he's so awesome at that stop, man. Can hit multiple people and it's wild.
Now Rick Knox, the referee, up to 8. Swerve returning Matthew to the ring and himself the counter's broken. And this is a smart move here. Smart move. Yeah, tagging out to Hobbs, who, despite the punishment he suffered early in this match, the fresh man, compared to Swerve Strickland, the straps are coming down. Hobbs, refs, bringing a little town business, but no, Moxley.
Oh, Shawn Moxley looking for death by the spine buster!
Buster, man.
Another spine buster!
Watch Nicholas here. And Nicholas.
Into a consecutive spine buster.
Clean sweep for Powerhouse Hobbs. Swerve back in.
Swerve makes the climb to the top. But now Moxley sending Hobbs into Swerve the cutter on Hobbs by Moxley. But Joe sends the champ to the floor. Super kick. Man, that was nasty. That was right on the button. Joe went down. And the superplex. Matthew and Nicholas. Now, the EVP trigger.
The box is the EVP trigger and I'm walking up what? Shoulder, got him, yes!